The Crithian merchant's compound smelled of exotic spices and desperation. Anna pressed her face against the energy barrier, watching the alien's four eyes blink in sequence as he examined the crowd of refugees outside his gates. "Please," the Zenthari mother begged, her translucent wings folded tight against her emaciated frame. "Take my son. He's strong. He can work." The merchant's mandibles clicked dismissively. In the galaxy's established order, charity was illogical. Resources went to those who could pay. The rest didn't matter. Lewis stood beside Anna, his jaw tight as he surveyed the scene. 3 days since the Crithian blockade had cut off supply lines to the refugee sector. 3 days since the undesirables, those fleeing war zones, those without credits, those the Galactic Council deemed expendable, had been left to starve. "We have to do something," Anna whispered. "With what?" Lewis gestured to their nearly empty packs. "We're as stranded as they are." They'd been anthropologists, studying trade routes in the outer colonies when the blockade began. Now they were just 2 more humans caught in a crisis that affected thousands of species, all abandoned by a galaxy that ran on strict economic principles. A commotion drew their attention. A young dracony, a species whose scaled bodies and wing membranes had earned them the human nickname space dragons, was being pushed forward by his older sister. The boy's scales were pure white, a genetic rarity that made him shimmer like pearl in the harsh station lighting. "Take my albino dragon brother, sir," the girl called out in halting galactic standard. Her orange eyes were hollow with hunger. "We haven't eaten in 3 days. He's rare, beautiful, worth something." The merchant leaned forward, interest finally flickering. "An albino draconi? Unusual. The exotic pet market might—" "No." Anna's voice cut through the courtyard. Every eye, compound, binocular, and otherwise, turned toward her. Lewis grabbed her arm. "Anna, what are you—" She shook him off and stepped forward, her heart pounding. "You're not taking that child." The merchant's translator clicked. "Human, this doesn't concern your species. We don't operate on your bizarre emotional principles." "Maybe that's the problem," Anna shot back. She turned to the crowd, switching to the pigeon standard that most refugees understood. "How many of us are there? 200? 300? Confused murmurs rippled through the assembled beings. "What if we shared?" Anna continued. "Everything we have. Pool our resources. No one eats until everyone eats." The Crithian merchant laughed, a sound like grinding crystals. "Irrational. If you divide insufficient resources equally, everyone dies. Basic mathematics." "Or everyone survives long enough for help to arrive," Lewis said, stepping up beside Anna. He'd caught on to her plan. "The relief ships are only 4 days out. We heard the transmission." 4 days, a Valkyrian elder spoke up, their gills fluttering. "But the merchant class has sealed the food stores." Anna looked at the compound, then at the crowd. Hundreds of desperate beings from dozens of species. The galaxy had left them to die because saving them wasn't profitable. But humans had a long history of irrational survival. "Then we take them," she said quietly. "That's theft," the merchant sputtered. "Illegal. The enforcement guild is already gone," Lewis interrupted. "They evacuated with everyone else who could afford passage. Right now it's just us." Anna raised her voice. "In human history we had a saying, from each according to their ability to each according to their need. We didn't always live up to it. But here now, we can try." The Dracony girl clutched her brother closer. "You would help us? Why?" "Because on Earth we learned something the rest of the galaxy hasn't figured out yet," Anna said. "Sometimes the illogical choice is the right one. What happened next would be analyzed by xenosociologists for decades. The humans organized the refugees with terrifying efficiency. Lewis, who'd studied engineering before anthropology, disabled the compound's security systems. Anna divided species by dietary needs, rationing the merchant stores with mathematical precision. But it was the human philosophy that truly baffled the galaxy. They gave the largest portions to nursing mothers and growing children. They prioritized the sick and elderly. When the Valkyrian elder protested that he was old and should receive less, Anna simply said, "You have wisdom we need." That's valuable. The albino draconi boy, whom they learned was named Thresh, became the symbol of their resistance. His sister Kira helped distribute food. The Zenthari mother used her wings to fan the overheated. Species that had never spoken began working together. On the 4th day, when the relief ships arrived, They found something unprecedented, a functioning multi-species cooperative, organized not by profit or hierarchy, but by mutual aid. The Galactic Council investigated. The Crithian merchant pressed charges. But Anna and Lewis stood before the arbitration panel and presented their data. 0 deaths in the refugee sector. 0 violence. 100% survival rate. Economically irrational, the head arbiter declared. Morally rational, Anna countered. The case was dismissed with a warning. But the damage, or perhaps the healing, was done. Across the galaxy, other stranded populations began organizing using the human protocol. Not because it was profitable, but because it worked. Kira visited them before their transport home. Thresh stood beside her, scales gleaming, healthy and fed. "Why did you do it?" she asked. "We were nothing to you." Anna smiled, remembering Earth's long, painful journey toward compassion. Because once humans were nothing to each other too. We got better. Maybe we can help the galaxy do the same. As their ship lifted away, Lewis watched the refugee sector below. The energy barriers were coming down. Species were mixing, trading, helping. "Think it'll last?" he asked. Anna squeezed his hand. "The galaxy runs on logic and profit. But humans? We run on spite, hope, and the irrational belief that we're all worth saving. That's got to count for something." Below, an albino draconi boy spread his wings and flew, free, fed, and alive because 2 humans couldn't walk away. In the end, that changed everything.